Aloha. So today I'm going to go through an Amazon FBA private label 8-figure powerhouse brand review. Okay, so the idea behind this is that we can go through it together. We see what's good, see what's not good about the brand, see what made them so successful. But ultimately we want to look at the top brands because we want to point out the things that made them great. So I'm going to go through a little bit of the background that is first, and then we're going to go through it step by step, and we will learn together and be able to action things in our brand immediately. So let's have a look at first the revenue. If we look at their brand here, they're in home. Is it home and kitchen? Let me just double check, or is it more like a... Yes, they're in a mix, personal care, yeah, health and household. So they're in a replenishable brand business, you know. People are looking at dishwasher pods, stain remover, soap. These are all things that will be replenished time and time again. So it's amazing, like a really good niche to be in if you're choosing your brand, if you're choosing your first product, then or choosing your second or third or fourth brand, as may be the case. So we can see here they're doing 2.7 million a month, 115,000 units. It's pretty incredible. Let's have a look at what that is in. I don't know what that is, but anyway. So that's 2698 times 12. Okay, so 8 figures for sure, 32 million, based on current trajectory. Now we know these things can kind of ebb and flow. But yeah, multiple 8 figures. So really great job here by whoever made the brand. So let's have a look at the backstory, because we want to shine the light, of course. So founded in 2013. So this is a great time to get started on Amazon, because there was obviously less competition. It was a little bit the Wild West back here. This is around the time that my business partner Daniel got started as well. That's Daniel of Into Profits. And yeah, great time to get started. Now, if we're looking at the founders, so in Texas, Sean and Paul, so awesome. The mission was to create a safe, effective, and plant-based household and personal care products. So they've certainly done that. Originated from the founders' own need for non-toxic products that were safe for kids, pets, and sensitive skin. So this is a beautiful thing. It really is a beautiful thing. Now, this is often the way I've approached my brands, my products as well. And even business doesn't have to be necessarily e-com specific. But like, if there is something that you're trying to solve yourself, or you have a need that's not being met, particularly in the current market, then what you're going to get from that is a certain energy. It's almost like the way it feels to me, it's like infinite energy. When you're like mission driven, your frequencies are just going to be so high, you know. You will have infinite energy to pursue this, versus starting, let's say, a product range where maybe you don't like it, maybe you don't really care about it. That to me is like a low frequency thing. Now, don't get me wrong, we've all been there, we've all done that from time to time, because there's no perfect product for sure. But I know it's night and day the difference between when you're united behind something, when you're aligned behind something. So really, really great to see that these guys have started non-toxic products brand, potentially for their own kids, pets, and sensitive skin. So this is something that resonates with me. Next one is Amazon as the Launchpad. Obviously, that's what we want to hear. Began as private label, selling exclusively on Amazon, which is the way we recommend. Start private label. You don't need to alter too much at the start, but you do want to have a product that is alterable over time. Now, knowing that these guys are in soaps and dishwashers, dishwasher detergents and soaps, stain remover. These are all formulations. These are all recipes. So there's no doubt they've made this better over time. They've removed some of the toxins, which is exactly what we want to see, because that's going to give you a real edge on Amazon. Use Amazon's FBA advantages, so prime, low ad costs, algorithm reach to gain traction in a commoditized space, natural cleaning. So 2013, obviously, not all of the household names for these products would have been on Amazon. So great time to get started, get that initial traction. You can't say that about too many spaces now, but as always with commerce and trade, there's always opportunities, there's always niches untapped, audiences that haven't been spoken to in their lingo directly, understanding their needs better than the big companies, whether it's Unilever or Procter and Gamble, any of these big companies, because they're so big they just don't get on that level. They don't get on that level versus a need that you've discovered or you've seen, like it intrinsically. Really lean into that, meditate on it, because that's where a lot of the power comes from. There's no doubt. If you're going to get started, to really have again, private label, you won't know all of the products, you won't know everything about it, but if you can get into private label when you already have an edge or an understanding of the market or the product, that's a great place to start. That's the best place to start, really, outside of maybe just acquiring a company. But so what have we got next? So leverage customer reviews and iterative feedback to optimize formulation. So this is one that we always recommend, and in the profits, and me personally, you've got to use those reviews. There's a couple of tools out there you can do as well. I know Sellerize, and there's multiple, you can Google it, but that will basically chop up the reviews and look at what the best or what the most positive things are, what the negative things are, and you can optimize on this, and you use it in your messaging as well. Just game changer. Starting off already speaking in the customer's tongue, already speaking to their desires or their pain points. It doesn't really get any better. Now, the next thing we've got here, and this is also why we don't recommend, or I don't recommend, or where I've had issues in the past, you test too many products at once. To me, I'm at a point now where I look at markets and I kind of understand there is a gap, or there is an opportunity there based on experience. I understand that I want to go in there with some of the edge already formulated, whether that's the brand or the product or the packaging, etc. Whereas before, or let's say almost a decade ago now, I would have launched products just purely like copy paste from AliExpress or Alibaba, stick a label on it, and I've evolved since then. But I think that's also important at the start to test and see what works, see how the market is, see what the ad costs are, etc. But now it's evolved to a point where I can kind of see that already. So now I'm launching products that have maybe not the full edge defined yet, because I'm very much a bootstrapper. I want to see traction. I want to see tens of thousands of dollars a month in sales before we really get behind developing an R&D, etc. But iterating on the reviews or looking at the feedback. That is either if you've launched a product and you're looking at the existing reviews on your product. It doesn't get any more real than that. Or you're going to launch a brand or launch a product and you're looking at the competitive landscape, what customers love, the language they're using, what they're less happy about, what the negative reviews say, what are the big issues, and can we develop that edge to circumvent those issues, or to resolve those issues is probably a better way of putting it. Certainly in a lot of situations you can. So early Amazon listings lived heavy on natural, non-toxic. Back then as well, the algorithm was a little more primitive. SEO is changed a lot over the years. It's still important, but back then it was very much a case of having the keywords in your listing. Amazon will immediately rank you for those because there wasn't as much competition, and that's the key thing. What I've seen in my brands as well, and what I've seen in my clients too. Of course, there's big brands out there with great products, but if you can get in there and get an edge in your niche and stay ahead of the pack, that to me is the surest way of sustainable success, and that's why my first brand that I started 7-8 years ago is still going strong. My new brands now are coming with a bit more of an edge at the start, which I'm very excited about. But yeah, you've got to take over those niches. If you don't have that organic ranking, if you don't have that relevancy, you're just playing on ads, and if you're just playing on ads, I think you're on the clock. You've either got to find a way to break into that organically, or the ad costs are going to continue to rise and it will push you out potentially. which won't be ideal. So Amazon's Launchpad, fantastic. Next thing we've got here is the growth and expansion. So the hero product strategy. So another great thing that's so important is you're going to launch a brand, right? So you're probably thinking of a few products. You kind of know this is brandable. You know there's the product range there. But you really want to launch the one that can be a hero product. And what's a hero product? Or launch it first, I should say. Well, for me, the hero product is the one you probably know most about. It's the one that if you get profitability on, it's going to validate your idea. It's going to validate your product. It's going to validate your package and your brand. And that's going to give you the confidence then to go into other niches, you know. That's going to give you potentially the capital, but the better yet than the capital is the confidence and the knowing that it works, you know. Capital can come, you can either do it internally or you could raise it somewhere else. But if you've got validated products, that's the gold mine, you know, that really is the gold mine. So they went in with their natural surface cleaner and body wash. So let's have a look at their natural surface cleaner. Let's see how it's going now. So if we're organizing this by revenue, now there's probably some ebbs and flows here, but let's see. Again, we are looking for, why is that like that? One time viewing mode, please. Natural surface cleaner. Stain remover. I mean, it's possible that this was it. I mean, I can obviously check there. Now, they might have launched new SKUs though. Cleaner. So this might be a here or potentially this. No. All-purpose cleaner concentrate. So this is likely it. Maybe they launched one of them under that a while back. Or they've launched new SKUs. So I can't tell exactly. Maybe this one too. I mean, they're still doing good. They're still doing 6 figures a month or just below it. So yeah, that was the surface cleaner natural body wash. Okay. Now I wonder, is this the body wash or is it just a soap? Let's have a look. Dish soap. Okay, this is a dish soap, so it's not body wash at all. So yeah, I don't see their body wash here coming up. Bearing in mind the AI put this together. So without that, let me just organize this by revenue again. And let's come back in. So yeah, I think the ultimate message here, despite AI's potential screw up, or maybe they're not selling under these SKUs anymore, is getting that hero product first. You know, you spread yourself too wide with too many different products, you can't get enough of an edge. Just start to scratch the surface of that edge. You know, get that just so it will penetrate the market. That's all you need. You just need to see it. It needs to be a little sharp. If it's completely blunt, if you're just copy pasting products, you're just going to be banging against the wall. You know, you get that edge, just start to get that edge for a new launch, and it's going to have an impact. Now, expanded SKUs. So once you get that hero product strategy, again, the ideal scenario, which has happened or still happens so many times, is launch a product, you get the traction, you validate the product, which is the first thing. But the second thing is also then the cash flow it generates, the profitability it generates is supple to get new products in there. You know, you just capitalize on it. Now, brand building, which I've gotten wrong in the past. Brand building, this is just so key because a brand is serving the same target audience. If you've got multiple different target audiences, it's not a brand, it's just a collection of products. So what do I mean by this? Well, if they launched a surface cleaner natural or a body wash, which is a natural product, organic product, they're serving a type of customer that is conscientious, someone that is maybe they have kids, maybe they have pets, as it said up here, sensitive skin, but someone that wants to get products that are organic, that won't harm them, you know. Now, if I buy a product that won't harm me in soap, I'm very much likely to buy a product with the same ethos, with the same values in a shampoo. Of course, like why would I have the soap? Let's say we're showering or washing, but then I take out a shampoo that is like damaging. It doesn't make any sense. So you're serving the same customer. Now, what makes this powerful, which I think is lost on a lot of people, is if you launched a soap, right? And then let's say you launch let's just say you launch an AC remote. Okay, there is no relation here. No, there's just no relation. Soap, AC, it doesn't work, right? Now, so you've got two separate markets here. Now, if you launch the soap first and you get the validation, and then you launch the shampoo, what's going to happen? If this product works standalone, we're getting the shampoo, keywords, we're targeting it, we're bringing traffic. I'm going to make this up, but let's say we've got 10,000 people for our soap, right? And then we've got 10,000 for the shampoo. Now, that's 20,000, right? Wrong. So what it is, if the brand is targeting the same customers, all the people that are interested in the shampoo that have not searched for soap will buy it and go, this is good. They will also then be interested in your soap. So that's already doubling the traffic. It's not 10 plus 10 equals 20,000. It's bringing the traffic from both sides. So you're basically doubling the traffic on both of them. So that becomes a 40,000 search brand, so who likes now it won't be exact one for one, of course, not everyone is going to see it, not everyone, but that's the search volume, that's the traffic you're now generating to brand building done right, okay? And I've done this in the past as well. I know if I've done more of this, we'd have grown even faster, so just keep in mind, you're targeting the same customer, you're building on that. It's not a 1+1. The 1+1 becomes 2+2, quadrupled traffic. Okay, so they've done this. They've added the shampoo, they've added the stain remover, they've added the lotion. So they're just exponentially growing. It's like multiples. They add the shampoo, then they've got 3 products. They're all bringing in 10,000 each, and then they double, or they triple on each one. I mean, it's out of control in a good way. Of course, you got traffic just blowing the seams. You got money coming in, and that's the way we like it. Lots of sales, lots of profit. Yeah, of course, you think this on ad costs. People talk, ad costs are expensive, it's competitive, da. Bro, if you're just doing the brand building correctly, it's not going to have a big impact. Any one of these can bring traffic in. Now, all of them bringing traffic in, which is the goal, just enough. Okay, so D2C channel, so beautiful. We know Amazon. Look, Amazon is our bread and butter. Amazon will always be, potentially, for most brands, it will always be the dominant player if we look at the sales breakdown. Maybe Amazon will always equal 60, 70, 80, 90%. That might be the case. However, what we know with Amazon is that it's their customer. It's not our customer. Okay, and they keep the emails, and we can't contact them. It's very difficult to contact them. So mine, Daniel's, and Into Profits, our plan with our businesses, but also what we recommend to clients. Absolutely, if you can get the steps here, hero product, expanded SKUs, absolutely go D2C. Now, we've done this for our brands. We've had some success. We're getting some sales through it. Daniel's getting a lot of sales through it. So very happy with that. Okay, so what have we got next here? Retail partnerships, expanded target. Okay, I mean, D2C, you take control, you start to get sovereignty over the brand, and really powerful, really great position to be in, you know what I mean? First, you get the validation, you get the profit. Okay, I'm probably not taking out a lot at this point. You expand into products, the use start working as well. Okay, profit starts flowing, sales start flowing. Then you take the sovereignty, which is the D2C, which is absolutely beautiful. And then it's just like, you own the game. And then you're expanding retail. I mean, this is kind of the I don't know if I would call it like the 4 pillars, I would say, of success. And at that point, you're flying. I mean, it's probably worth at least 8 figures and potentially 9 figures or more. We've all seen the big success stories. You think a simple brand and it sells for 100 million, 200 million, because that's the relevancy. Now, if we go into the next section here, brand identity. So this is important, and where we see a lot of success with our clients and what we recommend as well. You got to have a visual brand identity. I know 10 years ago we could launch and just kind of put the features, how would you describe it? Do all the Amazon like hacks in terms of the content and stuff. Do all the Amazon gimmicks to get like benefit heavy listings. But You've got to make it all come together, particularly if you've went 1, 2, and 3 here. Absolutely, if you go 4, I mean, you can't do it. You can't go into 4 unless you have a really dialed in brand. You know, it's got to be cohesive. Otherwise, and I actually was talking to the team internally last week about this, or over Slack. Without the brand behind what you're doing, every time the consumer, the client, the customer interacts with your, let's say, your brand, it's like starting from zero. If it's all random, if it all looks random. Now, how does that come together? Well, first is a familiar look, you know, and that's going to come down to colors, fonts, icons, just a familiar like rhythm with the content, you know. It doesn't have to be the same for every product, of course not. It's not going to be, but you need a rhythm with it, you know, and a visual rhythm. I mean, here I know rhythm might be misconstrued, but the next thing here is then obviously the content in terms of the what you're saying. You know, the messaging has to be consistent, because if every listing is standalone, again, customer sees the natural surface cleaner and they like what they see, they purchase, they go on to the natural body wash and they just see a completely different like branding, visuals, messaging, and they're like I was really happy with the cleaner, but is this really the same brand? You know, that's a way to lose someone immediately and kind of do yourself a disservice. Even though these are serving the same customer, if your messaging changes from one to the other, you're going to lose them. And you might as well be launching standalone products by then. So I hope that makes sense. So visual identity, the messaging, super important, you know, appealing to millennial families, eco-conscious customers. Yeah, beautiful. So the one thing, sorry, let me just take some water. Cruelty. Okay, so yeah, messaging the same, differentiators. So the real efficacy and clean ingredients, not just eco washing. Yeah, not just using buzzwords, you know, actual clean ingredients is the key. Build loyalty through customer service, using the feedback, storytelling, eco refills, recyclable packaging, adding to the sustainable angle. Takeaways. So we went through a lot of takeaways, but let's just see. True private label brand, first brand, product first, brand second, and full circle. Yeah, look, they'd be absolute beautiful. Like, this is beautiful music to our ears, and exactly how we should be looking at it. Get the hero product first, get the brand second, as in expand the range. When you're going D2C, you're going to have some sort of brand or identity, because it just, Amazon is, I'm about to say playing on easy mode. I'm not saying it's easy, but there's less that needs to go into it. There's less modifiables on Amazon. There's a set listings, whether it's titles, images, A+, etc., that is editable. When you go D2C, you've kind of got the full repertoire of weapons. That's when real marketing comes in. And ultimately, you've got to have a good brand at that point. You've got to have your visual identity for sure. You've got to have your messaging for sure, because that's when it's really going to start to penetrate the customer psyche. And that's when they all start adding up to each other. I'm not going to get into it again. I don't know why I've done this with my hands either, but I think you get it. Optimize for SEO, yeah, beautiful. Invest in the brand building and then breaking out of commodity pricing. I mean, it's the name of the game. Do that through real products, real brand. D2C and now retail, long-term scaling. Amazon is a proving ground. So this is exactly what we're doing, exactly what we're aiming for. Great case how to build trust in sensitive categories like brand, especially from a no-name. You can do it, you know. You can do it. Sensitive categories, hard to get. Within reason, it's one thing I always say is like the more barriers almost the better, because there's going to be less competition. Now, within reason, you don't want to be like starting off like hiking and then go climb Mount Everest, because there's going to be no newbies at that level. I mean, it doesn't really make any sense. So within reason, obviously if you're starting off, you don't want to go into like this super difficult one, but definitely can work. So let's have a look at the actual brand itself. Let's go on and see what we can see using what we know in Amazon. You know, let's have a look. So let's close this down. Let me open up their top seller and let's have a little review here. Okay, so let's have a look at some of the things we talked about. So title, dishwasher pods assumably is the top term. And then if we can go, can we open this? Let me just duplicate this and then we just search. Let's have a look. Are we at the top of the market here? Cascade. So obviously competing against some of these like OG brand. So let's see where we are on this though, or where we are. That's not the brand founders thinking, what do you mean we? No, let's see where they are. Okay, look, here they are. Now this is actually an ad. Amazon brand. Purity. Okay, there it is there, organically. Now, serious volume in this market. Obviously, you can see the top ones here doing 40,000 units a month. I mean, it's obviously pretty incredible. But they've carved out the niche. Now, let's have a look at the product itself. So we've got the title here. Yeah, it looks good. Natural dishwasher, so that's what they're targeting. Now, if we look at these guys, I don't see any mention of natural here. So they've niched down. I don't see any mention of clear dish tabs, do I? No. So I don't see any mention of clear dish tab. I mean, enzyme powered. That might be more descriptive. It's hard to imagine that people are searching for enzyme powered. But it's good to also put your title, like you want to have some descriptive words or some, like, maybe even if like you're super niche down, some of the language or lingo that resonates with your customer that maybe other competitors will not have. You know, spot and residue free, TikTok trends item. I mean, they're trying to tap into that. That's very interesting. I wonder, must-haves from TikTok made me buy it. Interesting, very interesting. And this is obviously bringing in the D2C angle here with TikTok. Very interesting. With TikTok again, viral sensation. So they're really tapping into that. And what that is doing is it's social credibility. You know, if everyone on TikTok has it, because TikTok's kind of the cool or kind of the in thing. And if everyone else is doing it, then we want to do it. It's kind of like FOMO, you know. So look, nice title. Let's park that. Get loaded this pod, tiny pouch, packs a punch. Okay, I like it. Visual before and after. I mean, it's kind of what you want. Keeping the same. Not too many changes in the font. I don't like to see that. Not too many colors, you know. So this is nice. You obviously got your headline. Get a load of this pod. Tiny powerhouse to packs a punch. Subtitle or tagline. Purity wash pods 50 free and clear. So nice. One focal point to me, and that's that. If anyone's going to go an extra level and read the other descriptions, then for sure. Now, ingredients as your dishes. Okay, so this is where they're trying to get into the things that make them different. You know, plant and mineral based, nitrogen boil based, paid cruelty free, made in the USA, fragrance free, zero BS. So getting a little bit breaking the rhythm, breaking the pattern here. And this is one thing in copywriting and direct marketing that I'm familiar with, is people near the start of their like landing page will curse or add something that brings people out of the the autonomous mode, where you're just kind of autonomously reading through something, but you're not really paying attention. If you can break that and like bring them presently here, that gives a really it's really powerful, you know. So obviously they're saying zero BS. Amazon obviously allowing them. Life's too short for pre-rinsing. Cook, enjoy, load, never pre-rinse or rewash. Okay, so this is where you're getting into the niche. Now, I've never used a dishwasher in my life, so this is not an area that I'm familiar with. But I would assume that there's some people, maybe the detergent is not good enough, so the people are like pre-running the dishwasher. Again, someone's gonna listen to this and be like, I'm completely wrong, but this is what I think. Cook, enjoy, load, never pre-rinse or rewash. So I assume there's some weak detergent or out there pods that means that people are running it a few times. So this is again getting into the niche. Same sensational clean. Again, I'm not actually sure what the difference is here though. Works better when you skip the pre-rinse. Say goodbye to pre-rinsing. I wonder what they changed here though, because I don't see it. USDA certified bio-based product. So they got USDA certified here is what they're doing. #1 brand on the internet. It's an interesting one. The internet is never wrong. So they're bringing in a little bit of humor here. I like it. You know, people always look at, oh, well, my product couldn't do that. I'm selling whatever, a spatula or something. Like, these are selling like a very boring product. which are often the best products, but they're bringing in the humor, they're bringing in those pattern interrupts, and they're doing it in a really professional and scientific way, because that's important, because you don't want to go too far that direction and you come across as unprofessional and you're like, do I really trust this to clean my dishes? But they're doing it in a very specific way, and it's really good. Family, obviously they're trying to tap into that lifestyle image basically at the end, and what's important, obviously family. Like, I mean, this is a nice way to wrap it up. Clean your world with purity, and then another lifestyle image here, trying to show what it looks like with all the products there in the house. So again, I'm not sure what value add this is per se. Actually, I do understand what it is. They're subtly introducing their other products. Now they're pointing out this one. You'll notice these are a little bit blurred. So yeah, wrapping up really nicely here. A couple of different types, 50 pack of 2. So it makes sense. You got subscribe and save here. They do not have a discount on, interestingly. I know discounts on subscribe and save can be a big help, but I'm guessing this is a competitive niche. Well, I'm not guessing, it is a competitive niche. Some big brands in here, and they likely, people need to subscribe, you know. In some other niches, people don't necessarily need to subscribe. They could just buy it when they run out. And this is probably going to run out very regularly, so you kind of need to subscribe. So they're not doing the subscribe and save, fascinatingly enough, you know. Let's have a quick look at the bullets. Enjoy perfect dishes. So again, the kind of, as we know, that kind of skim readers, you want to give something at the start, but then also you've got some people that want to read the whole lot. And this is your really opportunity to start connecting with words too. Still burn, keep your home pure. It's a dish cleaner you can feel good about every day, okay? Not too much to add there. Oh, again, this is really good. I really like this. And actually, I was about to say there's nothing to add. But look at the first one here, TikTok's favorite. So again, social credibility, creating that FOMO, make your life easier, dishes cleaner, minus the pre-rinse hassle. So again, tapping into that kind of niche specific lingo. But they also add at the end here, fewer spousal arguments, more peace of mind, which is obviously, it's just funny, you know. People are, turning on the dishwasher, doing any sort of house errands can obviously bring about arguments, or like you need to do that, or you do this, or that's not done. Now, they don't have the pre-rinse in here, so they're trying to tap into, like, you're basically gonna have a better relationship, which is funny, you know. I like it. I mean, I think it's good. I think people are aware, probably reaching a little bit, but people want, again, pattern interrupts. They want a bit of humor. This is something that's done really well here, and yeah, kept very professional. Just tossing your step back and relax. Okay, maybe the last part is wishful thinking. Okay, so they're tapping in. They're doing it a lot. To be fair, they're doing it a lot. There's no doubt that, like, you looked at the ones above, the big brands like Amazon brand and Finish and stuff. They are not doing this. So this is their angle. This is how they're tapping into it. They're making people smile, you know. And if you make people feel something, some sort of emotion, we all know people do personal brands that get hated, but again, they're making people feel an emotion. You think of like Floyd Mayweather, and how people didn't like him because he always talked about money Mayweather, but everyone tuned in to watch, and he made hundreds of millions of dollars. Now, in this case, you don't want to get your product hated, because that's probably not going to work. But now someone rings me. But you can understand, making people feel something is the key. Heartfelt agreements, purity found out family needs. Look, beautiful, very simple, very clean. Swipe right, you can look at more products. Okay. Now, I don't, surface cleaners, maybe this makes sense in this case. We had something similar like this before, but I didn't really like it. But I think these are more, they've done this better because they've added the different categories. Sorry there. I don't know what my phone was like trying to talk to me or something. Somehow. I'm not really sure why. Okay, so they got a video in here too. We'll watch the video. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it. Let me turn on this. 29 seconds. Very simple, clean house. Again, kind of a homely house as well. It's not like a house that would cost like $10 million. Well, maybe, I don't know, but it gives off a homely vibe. There's stuff lying around, etc. They do have some AI in here, which is the trees, obviously, if you notice that, and obviously this stuff. But you want something to capture people's attention. If it didn't have this, it would probably just be a little bit mundane. And also, you want to give off that kind of fresh feeling. We've seen the main images with the stuff surrounding the product, with the color, like flowers and stuff like that. You know, if it has that, or like essential oils, etc., which is a nice way to stand out. They're obviously just trying to keep people's attention. The more retention they have in this video, the more sales they're going to make, assumably, you know. No harsh chemicals, safe to use on food, works on daily residues. Spotless, free and clean. Okay, nice. Again, keeping the branding. They're obviously using the same, it's the same fonts. These things maybe are, sometimes are overlooked, but you've got to really keep the same branding because it's just important. Amylase, I don't know what this, protease. Gently solved. Okay, I mean, with 2 plant enzymes. I don't know, does anyone know this, what enzymes? I've heard the word enzymes, like plant enzymes, but does anyone actually get this part? I don't know. The people looking at dishwashers want to understand enzyme. Maybe enzymes is a very well-known word in the dishwasher world. I don't know. But to me, I'm looking at it going, it doesn't really make sense. I'm probably not the target audience. I don't use a dishwasher. Okay, look, obviously more lifestyle. Place 1 pod, set and clean. Perfect. Just the installation, making it real easy is nice. Now, this is a big one. We've seen the social credibility at the top. We've seen the humor brought in. We've seen the pattern interrupts with the language and stuff like that. Now they're obviously bringing in even more social credibility. Look at all these, you know. Now, a lot of these you can pay to get into, but in many cases, the big brands, they actually do get into them. And it's a big thing. You can put a lot of these on it. I mean, fantastic. You know, really fantastic. Puracy, Brace Clean, living with Puracy. Okay, great. And Explore. So they're again a bit of cross-selling at the end. But what sometimes you can get, and this is for testing, like cross-selling, you want to cross-sell basically the same product, particularly in many cases, not every case, before someone jumps at me. But if you think of a landing page, if you think of copywriting, if you think of marketing, like, and what also pisses us off with Amazon's listing sometimes is, like, if you've brought them through that funnel and you've got them in there and they've learned about the brand, they've watched the video, they understand, they've laughed, they smiled, they're interested in purchasing, and you've got a comparison chart that basically directs them into not an unrelated product, but like a product that serves them in a different way, you're kind of starting again. So you just need to be a little bit careful here, you know. In this case, it may work if they're very related, but you can see they're purely targeting the same product, and I know why. I know why. Okay, so I don't have more to add here. Let's have a little brief look at the reviews. Comparison charts, so a little bit higher priced. Well, not compared to these guys. These are for 2-pack. Lots of videos here, which are very powerful, by the way. And you can obviously pay people to do these. Molly suits, no defensive ads, no defensive ads. Oh, they do have defensive ads here. So they do have some defensive ads as well. Laundry detergent. So every hot with the dishwasher, now they're trying to help for your laundry. Makes sense though. Makes sense. Not targeting these ones. These like SDA ads. Okay. I mean, look, the reviews obviously are what they are. 4.3. A lot of images in here. Natural, sparkling clean. Soap suds and leaking. So yeah, look, this is beautiful. And I hope this actually helps, because I realize this is I don't know how long this video is, but it's very long. But I just wanted to be super natural and just run through it and say the things that I see that I really like. Take my hat off to the brand owners. What was it? I can't remember their names. But Sean and Paul. And yeah, I mean, that's a wrap for the brand review. Hope this makes sense. Hope you've got something from this. And I hope you have a wonderful day ahead. Bye for now.